Today I'd like to talk about a particular Zen koan that confuses a lot of people. It's if you meet a Buddha on the road, kill him. This is like the unravelling of the enigma of a Zen paradox. So this particular koan, if you meet a Buddha on the road, kill him, it's a provocative and enigmatic statement which is deeply based in Zen Buddhism. At first glance, it may appear as a bit of a contradiction or even sacrilegious, or maybe even just challenging the very essence of the Buddhist teachings that emphasizes compassion and non-violence. However, delving into the historical and philosophical context of Zen, it reveals quite a profound metaphorical meaning behind this seemingly quite cryptic expression. The saying is often attributed to the Zen master Linji, who lived in China during the Tang dynasty around the 9th century. Linji is also known as Rinzai in Japan, or in Japanese Zen. And he was a central figure in the development of the Rinzai school of Zen. So this expression, however, has been interpreted and reinterpreted over the centuries, with variations in wording and emphasis. But at its core, if you meet a Buddha on the road, kill him, it challenges the attachments to external forms and representations, encouraging practitioners to look beyond the superficial and begin to recognize the limitations of conceptual thinking. The Buddha in this context represents the external idea or image of enlightenment. And it's this external idea image that can become a hindrance on the path to true awakening. The road in the saying symbolizes the journey of self-discovery and spiritual awakening. So it's a dynamic path where practitioners encounter various experiences, challenges, and realizations. Meeting a Buddha on the road suggests encountering an externalized, conceptualized version of enlightenment. Perhaps an idealized image that one has constructed in their own mind. The act of killing the Buddha, the act of killing the Buddha is not a call to physical violence, but a metaphorical invitation to transcend attachment to any fixed or conceptualized notion of enlightenment itself. It challenges the practitioner to simply go beyond the conditioned mind, breaking free from the constraints of dogma and preconceived ideas. So killing the Buddha is an act of liberation, releasing oneself from the confines of rigid beliefs and expectations. Zen Buddhism emphasizes the impermanence of all phenomena and the need to let go of our attachments. This particular koan, this saying, it warns against clinging to external authorities, including the Buddha, as such attachments can become obstacles on the path to genuine spiritual awakening, genuine spiritual realization. So the danger lies not in the Buddha himself, but in our attachment to the idealized and conceptualized version of enlightenment that hinders our direct experience of reality. Zen teachers often challenge dualistic thinking, the tendency to perceive reality on terms of opposites such as good and bad or right and wrong. If you meet a Buddha on the road, kill him encourages practitioners to move beyond dualities and to embrace the non-duality of reality. The saying invites individuals to transcend the conceptual framework that separates self from other, or sacred from profound, enlightenment from delusion. So this particular koan, it also aligns with the notion of emptiness by challenging the fixity of conceptualized ideas. So the Buddha's concept of emptiness, known as shunyata in Sanskrit, is a fundamental and profound aspect of the Buddhist philosophy. Because the concept of emptiness, it finds its basis in the earliest Buddhist scriptures, particularly in the Pali Canon, where the term sunna is used to describe a sense of void or absence. However, it is in the Mahayana sutras, such as the Heart Sutra, that the notion of shunyata is explicitly expounded. In these texts, emptiness is presented as a key insight into the nature of reality, and as challenging conventional perceptions and offering a path to liberation and away from suffering and discontentment and dissatisfaction. And at first glance, the term emptiness may invoke a sense of nothingness or lack. However, the Buddha's concept of emptiness goes beyond mere negation of existence. It challenges the inherent sustainability or inherent existence of all phenomena. Therefore, emptiness in this context refers to the absence of inherent, independent, or permanent essence of all things, all phenomena, including the self. So the Heart Sutra is a pivotal text in the Mahayana Buddhism, and it encapsulates the essence from the emptiness in the mantra, form is emptiness, and emptiness is form. This particular phrase emphasizes the interdependence and the interconnection of all things, of all phenomena. So emptiness is not a denial of existence, but an assertion that all things exist in relation to each other and are contingent in their manner, and they're devoid of a fixed independent existence. Everything is interconnected, everything is interwoven. The concept of dependent origination is also closely linked to emptiness in the way of Buddhist thought. It elucidates the idea that all phenomena arise in dependence on other phenomena. In the 12 links of dependent origination, as explained in the Buddha teachings, they illustrate the interdependent nature of existence itself. Emptiness. Emptiness is the recognition that no phenomena exists in isolation. Everything is contingent on causes and conditions. And one of the most challenging aspects of the concept of emptiness is its application to the self. In Buddhism, the self is not seen as a permanent, unchanging entity, but rather as a collection of ever-changing components. And when we look at the doctrine of anatta, or non-self, it asserts that there is no enduring, independent self within the aggregates, the 5 aggregates: form, sensation, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. And then emptiness extends this idea, suggesting that the very notion of a fixed and inherent self is simply an illusion. So understanding emptiness has enormous implications for how one relates to the world and how one simply experiences reality. The recognition of emptiness of the self and phenomena encourages a shift in perspective, a move away from attachment and aversion. So when we start to embrace the fluid and interconnected nature of existence, this can lead to a more compassionate and inclusive outlook. But of course, meditation plays a crucial role in realizing and internalizing the concept of emptiness. Practitioners often engage in contemplative practices in an attempt to directly experience the interdependence and the lack of inherent existence in phenomena. Meditation serves as a wonderful tool to dismantle the illusions of permanence and solidity that contribute to our suffering. And this can pave a way for deeper understanding of emptiness. Also, the concept of emptiness. It aligns with the Buddha's concept or teachings of the middle path, the way that avoids extremes and extremes of views. Emptiness as a middle way perspective encourages a balanced understanding that transcends the dualities of existence and non-existence, being and non-being, because it invites practitioners to navigate the complexities of life without succumbing to rigid, fixed views. And then paradoxically, the realization of emptiness does not lead to nihilism or apathy. Instead, it becomes a foundation for the cultivation of compassion. And the understanding that all beings share a common ground of emptiness that fosters this empathy and compassion. So when the illusion of inherent separation dissolves, the barriers to genuine compassion diminish. And then the path to altruistic action becomes clearer. In the Buddhist tradition, the ultimate goal is the attainment of nirvana. Nirvana, the liberation from the cycle of birth and death, known as samsara. Emptiness is intimately connected to this particular pursuit. Nirvana is not a realm or state separate from the world, but rather a realization of the nature of reality. And then emptiness, as a liberating insight, dismantles the base causes of suffering, leading to the cessation of craving and the attainment of nirvana. So it can be birth and death of thoughts and feelings, not just life and death itself. And the concept of emptiness has faced various critiques and misunderstandings. Some argue that it promotes nihilistic views, that say that everything is empty when nothing has meaning. However, the Buddhist perspective does not negate the conventional reality of phenomena. Rather, it challenges our grasping at inherent existence. So emptiness is not a denial of meaning, but rather an invitation to explore a more nuanced and interconnected understanding of reality. So then the concept of emptiness, shunyata, is a way of transforming teachings and challenges, and it challenges our fundamental assumptions about reality. It invites us as practitioners to investigate the nature of existence, recognizing the interdependence and also the lack of inherent essence in all phenomena. So emptiness is not a philosophical abstraction, but rather a pragmatic guide for a living, compassionate, and awakened life. And as practitioners delve into the depths of emptiness through meditation and contemplation, they embark on a transformative journey, a journey towards liberation from suffering and the realization of nirvana, happiness, enjoyment in life. So embracing this concept, one discovers a path that it transcends extremes. It fosters compassion and ultimately leads to the profound wisdom that sets the mind free. So the saying, if you meet a Buddha on the road, kill him, also points to the inevitable nature of enlightenment. True awakening transcends words and concepts, and any attempt to encapsulate it in fixed ideas falls short of the actual experience. So killing the Buddha is in this Koan is an invitation to enter the realm beyond intellectual understanding. It's a space where direct experience supersedes conceptualization. And as Zen Buddhism spreads to different cultures and different regions, this particular saying underwent various, as I said, interpretations and adaptations. In Japan, for instance, the Rinzai school embraced the saying as the meanings of trying to shock students into a direct experiential understanding of reality. The emphasis on the radical and unconventional nature of the saying, it aligns with the iconoclastic spirit of certain Zen traditions. In the contemporary context, if you meet a Buddha on the road, kill him, it remains a relevant and thought-provoking expression. And in a world inundated with information, ideologies, and social expectations, the saying serves as a reminder to question, deconstruct, and go beyond fixed notions. It challenges individuals to navigate the complexities of modern life and to do so with an open mind and a willingness to embrace the unknown. So the saying, if you meet a Buddha on the road, kill him, it simply encapsulates the essence of Zen itself, in the emphasis on direct experience, the emphasis on non-attachment, and the emphasis on the transcendence of conceptual thinking. It challenges us as practitioners to move beyond the limitation of fixed ideas, inviting us to embrace the dynamic and ever-changing nature of reality. So, while the saying may initially appear paradoxical or even heretical, its true significance lies in its capability to inspire an enormous shift in perspective. And it's this shift that can lead to genuine spiritual awakening and a liberation from the confines of conceptualized enlightenment. So thank you for listening and watching today. I hope this has been of some benefit to you.